Pretty much what happened back then. Pretty much only lost when Phineas Wright lost his badge. A lot of you probably wondered how did Gavin figure out that he had some forged evidence? Well, long before even Phineas even knew he had some forged evidence. Well, we're about to find out here exactly how he knew. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times.
Didn't you find anything unnatural about it?
Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence. In the next moment, you call and dismiss him. It was almost as if...
Almost as if what?
Funny, it didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Ah.
Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page.
Don't do this, Klavier.
I knew because you told me, Christoph!
What? What?
It was the night before the trial.
Klavier.
Christoph? I'd seen you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial.
Ah, I won't be appearing in the trial, actually.
Huh? Why not?
I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information.
Information?
The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen. I want you to call him a special witness. Then.
I wondered about it at the time. How did Christoph know so much?
Prosecutor Gavin?
Christoph! We were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case.
The victim's belongings? Ooh. Which would have included Magnifi's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin? My, Klavier. You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin.
You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial.
Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Apollo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on this black belly of this thing. The black belly of this thing, Trissy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited a detention center at the request of my client, Zakamari. Two cards. Pretty much, he loses the card game here. Enough. You lose, Gavin. Thanks for the work. Now go. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as a representation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion. Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete. Zach wasn't watching his points are the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Christoph Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Finn is right. A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs? He dismissed me. It went with that pitiful excuse of a man. He deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it! So the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these two men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zekamari both deserved what they got. So you asked Mr. Misham to forge the evidence, so you could win. But then, when you were dismissed as Zekamari's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap.
You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you give your dirty evidence to him.
You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all that I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly.
Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Perfectly. You're mad, Christoph. Stop fooling yourself!
What are you talking about, Klavier?
Tell me, how did that trial end?
Cancel it when the defendant vanished.
Ah, I get it. So, Christoph, you've been living in fear for 7 years!
What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance. So you watched everyone involved with this case for 7 years. You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Pretty much. All flashbacks from the get-go. Letting you guys know, this is all being recorded within a one take. So there's gonna be a lot of cuts where I don't pretty much where I cut off and I don't say anything, which is pretty much what I've been doing for a couple cases so far. Was he alive after being gone for 7 years? Finally, I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Fast, my left Zekamari gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's father. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him! Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Klavier Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. Shady Smith, was it? Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. The details don't really matter right now. What matters is that the traveler was Zekamari. What is it, Apollo? Huh? Keep going. We'll talk about it later. Did she already know? Someone please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Manifi Gamari's death started it. Manifi Gamari's death and his student Zekamari the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Klavier Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Drew Misham. Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. He took precautions when you took precautions when you made that forgery. You had the forgery made, didn't you? Precautions?
To keep people from talking, of course.
Those two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers.
Atroquinine. Applied to a commemorative stamp.
But luck was on Mr. Misham's side. The bomb didn't go off. His daughter. She saved him by taking the stamp. I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up.
The Ariadone nail polish, of course!
You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Misham is nervous, she has a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails. Ah! That nail polish was her good luck charm. She pretty much kept it because she got kidnapped when she was younger. As we all know this. We all know what happened to her as a little kid. Really sad though. It protects me, pretty much, as she said. But she bites her nails. She uses it a lot. So when she bites her nails, it will get into her mouth and it'll go down her system. But since it was very low dosages, she didn't get affected into it till recently. It was her insurance. It was his insurance. As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside?
If she ran into any trouble, she become nervous, and the nail polish would do the rest.
His time bombs sat there for 7 years, and then they went off almost simultaneously. If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such a long period of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we've said? Oh, I've listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Klavier, surely you understand.
We're back to the evidence, the lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the Atroquinine that took Drill Misham's life.
What about the restaurant? You killed Zakamari to keep him from talking. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive. Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Misham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial has been finished for 6 months. I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is defendant Vera Misham who is on trial here. No, but you are doing so good, Apollo. As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Misham innocent. Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence. You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in his nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Misham to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought the poison to her lips was you. What? Evidence is everything. There's nothing more. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor, Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Klavier?
Unfortunately, yes, Christoph. You're right. That is, you would have been right until now.
What?
Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is a trial case for a new judicial system.
You forgot about that, folks, right? We have a jury. That's right, I totally forgotten. The jurist system. Jurist, you say. The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers? Wow, that was completely mean. Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense! There's only room for 2 in this court. Me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say. They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright? Here it comes. Best breakdown in the game. So, everything was leading to this, of course. Right. 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 Dang it. Yes, folks, that was his true breakdown. I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law. The law is everything. Law is absolute. You let ignorant swine sow your courts.
Christoph, it's over.
Klavier.
The law is absolute? You can't be serious.
What?
Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law is an absolute. It's full of contradictions.
The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we perceive and pass on and face in our time. It is always changing, growing, nurturing. It is our task as human beings.
Except for you, Christoph. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore.
I ruined the epic moment. Niggas are gonna cut that out because that was the epic moment for Klavier. Not gonna take that away from him at all. I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to. I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as the trial of Vera Misham accused of murdering her father. The painter Drew Misham, however. Several other incidents were reviewed and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurors of the courts. For the death of Vera Misham, how do you find the defendant Vera Misham? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter. And this is where I turn to you guys. These next two videos are gonna be unlisted. I'm gonna give you the right to choose which one you want to see. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Misham is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Misham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please, wait. Yes, jurist number 6? There's something in the juror's handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. I've looked into all your dossiers. None of you are involved in the development of the case. With the development of the case, I see. Does that answer your question or your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Misham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely, judge well.